Hello guys and dolls, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my favorites for the year of 2014. These are products that when I think of 2014, or if I look back at the last 12 months, I think, what did I really love? What was exceptional to me? What was my favorite? So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, and I'm going to start out with hair care products because when I started writing out this list, I realized that hair care products were the things that sprang to my mind the first, so I thought that was kind of just interesting because I'm primarily, you know, a makeup vlogger and I love makeup, which is why I have so many favorites. But it's interesting that hair kind of, well, I think hair is just kind of on my mind lately because I'm going to be changing mine soon, but whatever. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Dry Spun Finishing Spray from Bumble & Bumble. This is a product that's very interesting. It's one of those ones I feel like it's polarizing. People are either loving the product or they're hating the product or they don't understand the product. To me, this is sort of a volumizing product that has some properties similar to a dry shampoo. So if I, have washed my hair earlier that day, I will still use this as a styling aid while I'm styling my hair to give me a little bit of texture, give my hair a little bit of volume, but I will also use it the day after I've shampooed as a dry shampoo. It's kind of awesome. I love it. This is my second bottle. I just bought a third one because this one's just about empty. Love that stuff. It's actually it's probably my most favorite hair product from this last year. My other favorite hair product was the Trilliant Spray from Sebastian. This stuff is freaking awesome. First of all, it smells so freaking good. Kind of melony, but, and I don't know, describing smells is like a completely moot point, but it smells phenomenal. It makes my hair shiny. It actually has mica in it, which sort of distributes throughout your hair, makes it a little extra shiny. Love this. In fact, this just ran out, so I need to go pick up another bottle of that. My other hair favorite of the year is my Olivia Garden like oval shaped brush that I got at Ulta. I freaking love this brush. It just makes blow drying my hair so easy. It makes it so easy to travel with a brush because I don't have to bring a boar bristle brush and a vent brush because it's 2-in-1. I love the shape, just everything about this. And I'm sorry it's dirty, but I really do use this brush. And it also has powder on it from when I styled my hair today. So I did use a little bit of a dry shampoo, especially in the black part of my hair. It tends to get oilier than the top. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about some skincare stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about is my favorite cleanser. I used a few different cleansers this year, but this was the one that I kept going back to, and I've been going back to this cleanser for years, and that's the Purity Cleanser from Philosophy. I feel also with this product like it's polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I think it's a really great basic cleanser, and I don't say basic like it's a bad thing. I mean, whenever my skin is messed up or I've tried another cleanser, this is the one that I go back to. It's like home base in terms of skincare for me, so I love, love, love this. It gets all my makeup off. I do remove my makeup with like a makeup wipe first, but sometimes I would use one of those and use a different cleanser and I felt like my skin wasn't clean. My skin feels nice and clean, but not stripped with that. The next couple things I want to talk about in the skincare arena are actually, it's like a whole skincare line, and that's the CeraVe CeraVe. The first one is the moisturizing lotion. This is just a body lotion. I use it all over. I have plenty of other scented lotions that I also really like Sunshine Grace. Oh, love this stuff. Smells like childhood, but this is a scented lotion. Sometimes I don't want a scented lotion because I'll be wearing, a different perfume with it, or I just have a headache or something, so I don't want to wear anything fragranced. This is my favorite moisturizer. It feels nice and clean on the skin. It doesn't feel oily. I can't stand that like icky, greasy feeling. That one's a really good one, and it's available at the drugstore, so it's cheap. So my favorite moisturizers are the AM and the PM moisturizers from CeraVe. CeraVe seems like the best way to say it. Anyway, I use both the AM and the PM. I obviously use the AM during the day because it has sunscreen. SPF 30, fantastic texture. But if I am doing my makeup at night, or at night when I am, getting ready to go to bed, I will use the PM. I think that the PM actually has a nicer texture, whereas this one is more like a traditional lotion type texture. This one is like a gel cream. It feels fantastic. And when my skin is really, really dry, that gel cream for some reason makes it feel more hydrated than the lotion version of it. Plus, it actually makes makeup go on nicer on top of it, but it doesn't have sunscreen, which is why I use the other one during the day. So let's talk about foundation. I have a few foundation favorites this year. I, of course, still love my Illamasqua Skin Base. This is my favorite full coverage foundation. Hands down, bar none, no contest. However, it's not available in the US anymore, which sucks. I want to talk about a few that are available in the US. The first one is the It Cosmetics CC Your Skin But Better SPF 50 thingamajig. This is a very, very pigmented tinted moisturizer type product. I had very mixed feelings about this at first. I made a video talking about it and I was like, this sucks. And then I tried it out a little bit more and I discovered that I really love it. I think it goes on best when you apply it with your fingers. Every time I've tried to apply it with a sponge or a brush, it looks like crap. For some reason, maybe it's the warmth from my fingers melding it in. I don't know. It just looks really, really great when I apply it with my hands. Of course, then you gotta wash your hands, but I'll live. When I've traveled, this is usually the foundation that I bring because it's just easy. I can just apply it with my fingers, so I don't have to bring a brush to apply it or a sponge or anything. And it has sunscreen in it, so it's an extra little boost in that regard. It smells like citrus. It's a great little product. Yeah, I love it. And when this runs out, I'm definitely going to be picking up another one. The other foundations that I liked this year were powder foundations. My all-time favorite powder, like gun to my head, what's your favorite powder? MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I mean, this has been my favorite for years and years and years. It gives my skin such a beautiful texture. It looks, if I wear it without anything else, it looks very natural and very skin-like. And most of the time when I wear this and nothing else, people will say, wow, you have such great skin. It actually fools them into thinking that I have great skin, which who doesn't love that? I also will use that to set any foundation. I think that it just goes perfectly on top of foundations to set them and it makes everything look better. Another powder foundation that I really love this year is this one from Serenity Scott. I don't know. I think it's like getting bleached out. There we go. My friend Samantha turned me on to this when she visited me in California and she actually gave this to me, so thanks Samantha. I'll have a link to her channel in the description bar down below. But when she gave this to me, I'm very skeptical of things, and so she gave it to me and I was like, cool. And then I was just like touching it to be polite or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, it's so silky and smooth and it makes your skin look like a porcelain doll. It's freaking insane. Now, one thing that I've noticed with this powder is that if I use it when I first apply my makeup, sometimes it will kind of like darken my skin, but if I use it as a touch-up powder after, it's perfect. Like literally perfect. I don't know why that would be. That doesn't really make sense, but it's just something I've observed. I've made the observate, and that's what I'd like to report back to you. But I love both of those powders, and honestly, either one of them is just fantastic. So let's talk about some skin primers. I have 3 primers I want to share with you guys. The first one is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. This is my favorite primer for when you have large pores, if you need to cover up large pores, if you feel like you're oily. This is my go-to for that. The second primer that I really love this year is this one from Urban Decay. It's the Naked Skin Beauty Balm SPF 20 in the shade Naked Light. This one is really great for those of you who don't like that like kind of thick silicone-y texture of a primer like this one from Too Faced, which has that classic thick silicone-y feel. This one from Urban Decay doesn't have that feeling. Also has sunscreen in it, which is a wonderful benefit for your primer to have, and it gives sort of like an optical blurring kind of situation. So whereas this one sort of fills in pores by just being thick, this one has like an optical blur to it. It also has silicone in there, but it has more of an optical blurring kind of thingy-majig going, and it really makes my skin look great. The only problem with that is it's just a hint too dark for my skin. My other and final favorite primer is the Veil Mineral Primer from Hourglass. Now this is a very, very, very expensive primer. This is like $65. That's freaking ridiculous. I've only ever bought it the one time and I do really love it. It also has sort of an optical blurring thing going on. It's a white, so it's not too dark for my face. It has sunscreen in it, which I love. And I do feel like foundations go on top of this so just beautifully. My only problem is this isn't the absolute best one for larger pores, which I tend to have right in here. So sometimes I'll do something where I'll use like this one and the bad pore area, and I'll use this everywhere else. That's just when I'm feeling extra fancy. So let's talk about concealers. My favorite concealer of this year was the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This concealer just rocks. The texture's perfect. It's great for covering blemishes or under eyes, and it's hard to find a concealer that's really perfect at both. It has wonderful coverage, but it can be sheared out. If you want to shear it out with like a little of your like lotion or something, you can do that and even use it as a foundation if you really wanted to. With this concealer, for a long time I was using Chantilly by itself, which I kind of had like, a heart-to-heart with myself, and I was like, look, it's an amazing concealer, I get it, but girl, that's too light. So I went ahead and went back and got the vanilla shade so I can mix them together. Mixed together, they are my perfect concealer shade. It's just, oh, I love it so much. The vanilla shade is a little bit more peachy, whereas Chantilly is very, very pale. So the two together makes a perfect shade. I love it. It's very expensive to do for concealer, but they do last a really long time. I bought this one last spring and I still have product in there, although it's probably on its last legs, but still, I think that for a concealer to last an entire year is pretty impressive. And then the other concealer I really like this year is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. This is a go-to concealer for me. It's what I use in my kit. I just think it's really great, waterproof. It's a little bit drying in the under eye, but if you hydrate really well beforehand, this can be really great, especially on more youthful skins. But on more mature skin or drier skin, it's not what I like to use under the eye. But it's great for blemishes or covering any kind of hyperpigmentation or anything like that. The product that I absolutely freaking loved this year was the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. These were super popular. Everybody loved them. That's because they're freaking amazing. Now, what's so great about these is that they give you a highlighted look, but it's not super obvious. It's not glittery. It's not overdone. It's not overly pigmented. Now, because of that, a lot of people who were kind of skeptics of it were like, then what's the freaking point? The subtlety and the refined texture is what makes it such an amazing product. So my personal favorite is this one, which is Diffused Light. It has a slightly yellow tint, so it's perfect for minimizing redness in skin. It is one of my favorite makeup products ever, which is kind of weird. I love this. The other favorite of mine is Dim Light, which unfortunately mine is broken. This is kind of like pale girl bronzer. If you can see it, it doesn't have a whole lot of color. But when you're very pale, doing actual bronzer can look super fakey. Whereas this one gives a warmth and a glow and a little bit of color to the skin without looking like orange and streaky, which of course a good bronzer won't look orange and streaky, but you can kind of go to town with this one a little bit more. On a medium skin, this one has a beautiful glow. They also have some deeper colors for darker skin tones, but those are just my two favorites that I use all the time. Absolutely love the Ambient Lighting Blush. I have two here that I like on myself personally, and that's the Mood Exposure blush and the Diffused Heat. These are the two that I like for myself. I also have a couple of these in my kit that they don't work on me personally, but I love using them on deeper skin tones. So this is a fantastic blush formula. It has a nice soft quality to it on the skin, which kind of leads me into talking about Charlotte Tilbury's blush, First Love, the nipple blush. Nipplegate, if you will. I showed this on an Instagram photo and somebody said that it reminded them of a boob, so we're going to call it Nipplegate. This is such a great blush. Again, it has that beautiful soft texture on the skin. It's just gorgeous. The texture is so refined. The pigmentation, I'm wearing it today. I love this blush. This is definitely one of my favorites of 2014. The next blushes that I want to talk to you about, you can tell I had a moment with blush this year. The Makeup Geek blushes. I can't tell you enough how much I absolutely love these. I have to over-enunciate my words like I'm Ross Geller. Fantastic, darling. Just really, really superb quality. The colors are fantastic. My personal faves. Spellbound, Bliss, and maybe Honeymoon. I really like Honeymoon. I wasn't so big on it at first, but I really love the base color. I just don't love the shimmer in it. But honestly, they're all so great. They all serve different purposes. You know, it can easily warm up or cool down a blush using some of the colors in here. It's just, I love them. I love them. I love them. One last cheek product. I know it's like a lot of cheek products. The last one I want to talk to you guys about is the NYX Blush in Taupe. I never used this before this last year. At least I don't, maybe, I feel like I got it last year. My friend gave this to me. She actually had this and didn't like it, and she was like, hey, you try this. It's my absolute favorite contour ever of all time. I don't know how I contoured my face before I had this. It's the perfect shade. It's the perfect balance between being gray and being not too gray. Sometimes a gray colored contour, like I have one from Bed Nye that I think is way too gray and it makes my skin look ashen and just not cute. This one is that perfect gray taupey color. I can't give all the credit to this powder because part of it is this brush from Sigma. This is the F84 Kabuki. This is the angled Kabuki. Oh my geez. These two together are the perfect contour combination. I can't get over it. So what I do is I just sort of rock this brush on here. It's a nice, dense brush, but it's very even and very just like just uniform and perfect. I even tried doing this contour with this brush from Sonia Kashuk, which looks, I mean, really similar, right? I don't know what it is, but when I did it with this one, it looked dirty. It didn't look the same, but this one looks perfect every single time. It's incredible. It's my favorite. I can't be without it. In fact, I need to get another one of this brush. I love it so, so, so much, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite, and I don't like having to wait when when I've washed it, I don't like having to wait till it dries. So that's the only thing about the kabuki brushes, is that they do take a really long time to dry when you hand wash them. So let's go ahead and move on to some eye products. My favorite mascara of the year is the Clinique High Impact Curling Mascara. If you guys have been watching me for any length of time, you guys know that I tend to favor tubing mascaras, which are latex based mascaras. Most mascaras are kind of like wax paint that just kind of, you know, they're just painted on, basically. This is a latex base, and it actually creates like a little shell around your lashes, which does make it hard, and typically this type of mascara doesn't give a lot of volume. However, the shape of this brush delivers a lot of that product onto your lash, and so it gives you a nice thick volumized look. The only problem is you can't layer this type of mascara because it does harden in place, and then once it's hard, you can't add more to it. The thing about this mascara is that it's water resistant, but you also take it off with warm water. It's kind of a weird formula. When you take it off, it comes in these like stringy tube things. It's kind of cool. Love it, love it, love it. Unfortunately, I've noticed that it's disappearing from shelves at local stores. So I don't know if like they're just not going to sell it in the local stores, I'm going to have to order it online, or if they're discontinuing it. If they are, I'm going to be a sad panda because it's my favorite. All right, so let's talk about some eyeshadow bases. I had 3 eyeshadow base favorites this last year. The first one is this one from Sigma. This is their Persuade eyeshadow base. I love this. This is very similar to like Painterly Paint Pot for me. It's just the perfect nude color for putting all over the lid. It is not super, super drying, and I have found that if I'm in a lot of humidity, my eyeshadow will crease after about 8 hours. However, that's still 8 hours in high humidity. I mean, that's still pretty impressive if you ask me. And as I'm getting a little bit older, just as my skin is being drier, I do appreciate products that are able to act as a really great eyeshadow base without totally drying out my skin. So I really, really love this. The only thing I don't like, and I like how it has this little cap thing that keeps it nice and fresh. The only thing I hate is this packaging. Oh, I hate this packaging. We just talk about how like little tiny the product is, and then it's this big, big, huge jar. It's so unnecessary, and they crack. I've noticed that a few of these have cracked, especially if I travel with them. I hate that. Sigma, please change the packaging on this. Otherwise, seriously, one of my favorite makeup products. The next one that's similar to that but a lot cheaper of an option is the Milani Shadow Ice Pencil in Almond Cream. Again, it's like that concealer eyeshadow base combo. It keeps things creaseless. I love this. It's a little bit drier than the one from Sigma, but overall they work basically interchangeably, and I've learned not to travel with this one because it gets messed up every time I do, so I travel with this instead. So then my favorite eyeshadow primer when I want primer without any color is the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Primer. This I got as like a little sample set towards the end of the year, but it quickly became my favorite eyeshadow primer. I absolutely love this stuff. So I'm almost like excited for it to run out so I can buy the full size. I know that's weird, but this little sample guy is actually lasting quite a long time, so I'm pretty impressed with that and love the product. It has a smoother texture than a lot of primers. Again, I'm finding things like Urban Decay Primer Potion or the Too Faced Shadow Insurance to feel a little bit dry on my skin. So it's nice to have those ones that still remain creaseless, but they don't totally dry out your skin. I also want to mention that you can also use things like a Longwear Concealer as a primer as well. You don't have to use like a designated primer on your eyelids. My next favorite of the year is my eyelash torture device, my eyelash curler. I was never really into curling my eyelashes. I did have this half lash curler from MAC that I really liked because I could kind of get in there and just pull, you know, curl like the outside half or something. But I found this little rose gold one, I think about 13 months ago I picked this up, and it was rose gold. So I was like, all right, well, let's try to use this every day. And as it turns out, I love curling my lashes because I love the way that it looks. It gives my, you know, gives my lashes a little boost up. And I love it because it's rose gold. Let's just get real. My next favorite of the year was eyelashes. I was completely, like, more than usual obsessed with eyelashes. I absolutely love, love, love eyelashes. I can't wait to show you guys my makeup collection, which hopefully I can do soon. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and honestly, I need to do it for me because I have things I need to move into here. Like, I have a new desk that's been downstairs for, I'm not kidding, like over 6 months because I want to like film this as it is. I know that's stupid, but anyway. Lashes, 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 lashes. Love lashes. I'm just going to talk about a few of my favorite pairs. The Saint lashes from Sugarpill. Super thick. I love, love, love these. I also like their Senescent lashes, but I don't have a fresh pair to show you guys right now. I absolutely love the Allure lashes. I'm wearing a pair from the Katy Perry line that they did. They've done a lot of different fun lines. This is some of their definition number 121s. These ones are fantastic. Love them. I tried House of Lashes this last year and was really impressed with the quality of them. They're a little bit on the pricey side, but you can wear them, you know, multiple times, so it does make it a little bit more worth it compared to like drugstore lashes that might fall apart after like 1 or 2 wears. Speaking of drugstore lashes that I'm like obsessed with, the Ardell Demi Wispies in general are just my good go-to everyday kind of eyelash. I can actually wear them and they don't bother me at all because they're so lightweight, but the wine color in particular, which is what I've got going on here, I love these. These are my all-time favorite eyelashes. I love them so much. Like, you see this face? I just love the color. It enhances my eye color. It's fun. It's different. It's really great for people who have green eyes. Love these lashes. You can get them on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description bar because they're kind of hard to find now. They might be available on Ulta.com too. I don't know. Link in the description bar. In the vein with the eyelashes, I also absolutely love this little applicator thing that I got in an Allure pair of lashes. Freaking amazing. Makes applying false lashes such an easy thing. My absolute favorite things for applying lashes this year was the discovery of this glue. This is the Duo Brush On Adhesive with Vitamins. I ended up picking this up because I had a client that couldn't use latex, and so I was like, what am I gonna do? So I found a lash glue that is latex free. Turns out I freaking love this stuff. It has like a blue look to it when you're putting it on the lash strip, and then it looks white and then it turns blue and then it turns clear. So it kind of gives you an idea of how, you know, when is a good time to stick them on. Love this. And I also find that my lashes don't lift up as much as with the traditional Duo glue. I honestly don't know why that Duo glue is so popular. I don't know, because I would find that my lashes would pop off, or if you're in a situation where you're gonna cry, it just, I don't know. I love this one so much better, and the best part is it's available at the drugstore, so you can get it, you know, in the same place you'd find the other Duo glue. You can find that. A whole bunch of eye pencils that I'm just gonna rip through super quickly. The first one is the Urban Decay 24/7 pencils. Absolute favorites. They're still my favorites. They've been my favorites for many years. Such a great range of colors and textures, and I just love it. The OCC Cosmetic Color Pencils. These are freaking amazing, and they're just great pigmentation, great colors. Love them, and they can be used on both lips and eyes. My next favorite of the year was the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light. This is a great pencil for using on your inner rim to sort of brighten up the eyes, as I've done today. You can also use it as a concealer anywhere on the face. My favorite of the year was the Stila Deep Burgundy Pencil. I am just completely obsessed with this. It's my favorite. I have to stop myself from using it in almost every video. It's just like these wine colored lashes. It just enhances my eye color. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit different from using just a brown or using a purple. It's just perfect. I couldn't ask for more in an eyeliner. And then my other two favorites for eyes stuff are these two different pens that kind of do the same thing. They're both like a brow tint pen. What I use these for is to fill in my little freckle guy right here. So I have a little freckle that doesn't quite get covered up even with full covered foundation. It still sort of wants to peek through and be known. So I decided about a year or so ago to just start filling them in and just, you know, let them be part of the party on the face. For a long time I was using this Milani Brow Tint Pen, but I discovered it's kind of a little bit too red for my skin. It works, but I was like, I could do better. So I found this one from Stila. This is the Stay All Day in Light, and this one has more of like a yellow freckle kind of tone to it, so it's perfect for filling in my freckle. I also occasionally use it on my brows, so that's kind of cool that it can work for both. Now we're going to move on to eyeshadows, my favorite eyeshadows of the year. First favorite eyeshadow of the year is the Lorac Pro palette, the Pro 2 palette. I loved this guy. You can see it's quite loved. It's fantastic. I love the shade selection in here. I love the textures. I love the quality. Really blew me away considering that I didn't like the Lorac Pro original palette very much at all. I loved this one. It's so good. So I found myself using a lot of these colors. Every time I traveled, I brought this palette with me because I could just do so much with it. There's, you know, poppy colors, but it's mostly neutral. Fantastic palette. I really, really love this guy. Can't really say too much more about it that I haven't already said. I did a whole review for that. My other favorite neutral type palette was the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. I love this palette. I love this palette. The shade selection, again, is just fantastic. The colors in here just go together perfectly. It was really a well thought out palette. The textures are phenomenal. Of course, it smells like chocolate, which doesn't hurt. It's just a fantastic palette. I used it. It's one of those ones that I use as like a go-to with other things. And that to me is a mark of a really great neutral palette. It's not that just that I want to use it by itself or I think, oh, I'm going to use the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette today. It's that while I'm using something else, I'm like, hey, I need that neutral from that palette rather than going into my singles for a neutral type color. Does that make sense? Anyway, love this palette. It's really one of my favorite makeup products that I've bought ever. The next favorite eyeshadow palette is not really technically an eyeshadow palette. This is the Makeup Geek Foiled Eyeshadows. These are fantastic. It's like a cream powder hybrid type thing. I don't know how they did this, but it's such a great product. My only problem is that my flamethrower broke the other day, so I had to kind of fix it back together, but otherwise they are fantastic and I love them. The next eyeshadow palette that I loved this year was the Urban Decay Electric palette. This was just such a fun palette to come out. I know some people kind of felt like, I don't know about that. The thing is that so many people aren't going to wear these colors all the time, so it's great to get them in a palette form rather than buy them all individually and then not ever use them. I personally use colors like this all the time, so it's exciting for me to have them all in one little palette. The quality, the pigmentation, everything was fantastic with this palette. Loved it, and I just like the way it looks. It's very, very pretty. And then my final favorite eyeshadows of this year, I love it. It's the Makeup Forever Artist Eyeshadows. Now this is the studio case. I've shown this before in a haul video. I love this palette, but it's more just about the formula itself of the artist shadows. Fantastic. I bought more since I bought this little guy. I'm going to be doing a review and swatches of these. I really want to get in depth and talk about them at length, but all I can say for now is crazy pigmentation, so blendable, so good. Oh my god. Blows other eyeshadows out of the water. I'm so impressed, and I am absolutely gutted to my soul that I didn't buy the 30 eyeshadow palette. They did like this thing for their 30-year anniversary, and it was an eyeshadow palette that came with 30 of the eyeshadows for I think like $200 or $250, which is a lot of money, but I know I'm gonna end up wanting most of those shadows now, and I would have actually saved a lot of money if I just bought that, but I didn't. So now I want to talk to you guys about some of my favorite lip products. Of course, you guys know I love the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I love the packaging. I love the luxurious creamy feel of them. I love the colors. My personal favorites are Bitch Perfect and Penelope Pink. Those are my favorite. Love them. And on sort of like the opposite end of that spectrum were another of my favorite lip products, which was the OCC Lip Tars in Pagan and Techno Pagan, particularly Techno Pagan. Oh my god. Metallic navy blue lips. Can we talk about it? It's so good. It's one of those things that doesn't sound like a good idea, but it's strangely flattering. I loved it. When I wore it, I actually got like lots of random compliments, both from women and men, you know, like that whole like rumor like, oh, men like women who don't wear a lot of makeup. Well, apparently when you wear blue lipstick, they like it. And like I said, it was strangely flattering. It was super fun. I wear that a lot in late summer, early fall. One of my favorite products. Another thing in that kind of similar vein, but a lot cheaper, was the NYX Wicked Lippies. These are fantastic. They are your, you know, fun, crazy colors. This one's a gunmetal gray. I have a like weird sewer green. That's what I'm gonna call it. They also have navy blues and purples and things like that. I just pulled out like a couple of different shades that I really loved. These were such a cool thing to come out. They were inexpensive, so you could really experiment with them. The textures of them were a little bit more on the greasier side for a lipstick of this kind, but I still think that given the price point, they are just so phenomenal, such a great fun thing to do. And these are now available at Ulta, so I will have a link in the description bar because I know they were first only available through the NYX website, and we all want to get our points. Next favorite lipstick formula of this year is not one that came out this year, but the Urban Decay Revolution lipsticks continue to be one of my favorites. The texture, the pigmentation, the wearability, they last a long time on the lips. They're just fantastic. One of my favorite lipstick formulas of all time. Next favorite lipstick formula is another one that didn't come out this last year, but I loved throughout the whole year, and that is the Milani Color Statement lipsticks. The colors, the pigmentation, the creaminess of these lipsticks is just phenomenal. I even like the smell. It's sort of like a watermelony, like an artificial watermelony kind of smell. I just love them. They continue to be my favorites. I've even stocked some of them in my kit now, and I feel like that's like the testament for like a drugstore product. Is it something that I want to put in my kit? Is it something I want to use on other people? And the answer with these lipsticks is hell yeah. The next lipstick of the year that I was really quite obsessed with is the Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipstick. I started out with these two, the Melted Peony and the Melted Ruby. Love these. They are so good. Absolutely love these for the ease of application, for the texture, for the smell. The colors themselves are, you know, it's a very small range, and it's gotten bigger as the years gone on. In fact, I think they just came out with new colors. Haha, so excited. Unlike a lot of these like liquid lipsticks that are coming out that are like transfer resistant, these ones will transfer a little bit, but they also aren't quite as drying as the others. Love these. I actually now have it in a total of five shades. Love, love, love this, and I can't wait to see the new colors that come out. So one more lipstick and then we'll get to lip gloss. The NARS Audacious lipsticks. I haven't reviewed these for you guys yet, but I've used them in quite a few tutorials. I love these so much. The texture, the pigmentation, I feel like I keep saying that over and over again, but it's true, and it's true in different ways. Like the, you know, the Milani lipsticks are super creamy and rich, as are the ones from Charlotte Tilbury, but this one is kind of creamy but dry. Not dry like in a bad way, but like not creamy and like slippery feeling. You know, these ones are nice and clean feeling as well, but they go on really nice. These ones have a nice slide to them as you're applying them, but they have a matte, we'll say matte finish to them. They just look so good. They feel almost like nothing on the lips. They're very comfortable to wear all day, especially if you're in an environment where you're not really able to touch up your lips a lot. These are great because they're not like a long wear lipstick, but they don't feel like weird on the lips. Mr. Motorcycle agrees that these lipsticks are fantastic. So I liked a lot of lip products this year. Now, in terms of lip gloss, I had two favorite lip gloss formulas. The first one was the Milani Color Statement Lip Gloss. Holy cannoli, I love this lip gloss formula. It is so, oh, I love it. It's like syrupy and thick, which sounds like some people probably don't like that, but I like that cushiony feel on the lips. It's not super sticky either. Like a lot of cushiony, thick lip glosses are kind of like gross and sticky. This one is nice and almost like balmy. The other thing I really like about this is that they're all very, very pigmented. The high pigmentation in a gloss can also be a drawback because sometimes I just want like a sheer gloss to go on top of whatever lipstick I have, but you can just buy clear gloss for that. I really, really love these. The colors are so fantastic, and again, it's something I've started to buy some of the colors to incorporate with my kit because I think that they're so great. Why would I spend more on an expensive lip gloss for my kit when I could buy these? They're cheap, they smell great. Love them. My other favorite lip gloss of the year was the Urban Decay Naked Lip Glosses. These are beautifully textured. Again, they have a nice like balmy type feel to them. They're pretty sheer. None of them have like a ton of color, but they do give a little bit of color. They're not like clear gloss. I love the packaging. Oh god, this is so beautiful. I just love it, love it, love. But in terms of what am I gonna put in my kit, I'm gonna put the cheap thing that, you know, comes in a whole bunch of shades, whereas this one I'm keeping for myself because they're kind of amazing and I love them. Now this video is already really gonna be really long. I intended to talk about some makeup brushes, but it's just too long. So I think that I'm going to do a separate video just talking about my favorite brushes in general, not just for, you know, the last year, but just in general, my favorite makeup brushes are and the ways to use them. So if you guys want to let me know what your specific brush questions are, what you would like to see me talk about in a brush type video, I would absolutely love to make that for you guys, so go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for sitting through this long video. I mean, seriously, what the junk. This video is gonna be so long. I'm like dreading editing it. It's gonna be awful. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed some of my favorites. Again, I will have links for everything that I just talked about in the description bar down below. And I am just exhausted from talking for so long. I filmed 3 videos today. I feel very accomplished, but at the same time, exhausted. So I'm gonna go now. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and remember to make good choices and just be yourself. See you, bye.